Over a dozen players added to West Virginia's roster today, and Wren Baker listens and brings back the iconic Glossy Helmets.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. Welcome to the Locked On West Virginia, baby, where Wren Baker does it again, listens to the fans, man. It was really good to see today as the Glossy era is back, baby. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to jump into the history of the Glossy helmet a little bit and just how much effing winning we've done with it, because it's a lot. 12 players added to the roster. What I did was I went over, overlooked it, see who it was. I just got a quick little blurb on each guy, not diving too deep. This is a pretty non-stressful show. As you guys know, I like to keep you updated on my life events and my things going on in my life. So here we go. Before we get into it any much more. So the panic attacks haven't subsided yet. I had to go to the doctor today. I got 5 new prescriptions. So I didn't take them yet because I wanted to do this show first. But I don't know how I'm going to react to these medications because, typically when I've had panic attacks in the past, they've gone away and different things. Like right now, I'm okay, which is why I'm doing this now. But, when I got up today, I was not okay and had to have somebody take me to the doctor. So, I don't know why it's happening again. It hasn't happened since 2019, but it's crippling, man. It's crippling for sure. So just bear with me, guys, in the coming days. If I may have to take a day off or something. I know you guys have told me to do that already and that it's okay to do it and all that. It's just not as easy for me to do that as maybe it seems. But I feel like I'm letting it win if I do that. So it's just part of it, right? I get it. It's part of life and everything, but what a crippling disorder panic disorder is, I'll tell you. It's absolutely brutal, y'all. I wouldn't wish it on anybody ever. My friend had to watch me in the car shaking like I was going to die today, and couldn't breathe, couldn't catch my breath, just the whole thing. It's miserable. It makes you look like ridiculous. And I don't know. I don't know why it's happening all of a sudden again, but let's move on. West Virginia adds 12 new players today, and I really thought it was an interesting mix of guys. And generally, I think there was some concern about whether or not these guys are going to actually be on the roster or not. It's been getting down to the nitty gritty. And you've got a mixture of mostly freshmen, actually, I think they're all freshmen that just hadn't made it for whatever reasons, high school letting out, that kind of thing. But people were starting to be concerned about it, whether or not they thought, they weren't going to come or what have you. I get it. But here's the list of guys. So you got Max Anderson, the quarterback out of Martinsburg. We like Max a lot around here. As a matter of fact, he's a super talented kid. I think has a bright future. He's a dual threat kid, can really sling it around. He's got a much stronger arm than you would realize as well. As a matter of fact, let's see if I got it right here. Yeah, I do. I have it right here. We like West Virginia kids anyway to begin with, obviously. But when you look at Max, man, there's just so much about the kid that I really like. He's got a super strong arm. Here he is working out. And you can see the ball explode off his hand. He can really sling that thing around, man. Kind of Patrick Mahomes-esque, the way he lets the thing, when he rips the thing out. As you can see right there, very Patrick Mahomes-esque. He's got a lot of zip on it. If you look at some of the plays here, he's definitely a dual threat kid. Somebody that I think can absolutely play in Rich Rod's offense and do it well. So we're gonna see what Max turns into. I think he's one of these interesting ones. Uh, I wonder between him and Scotty who is going to be the future of this program. It can't be both. They're both around the same age. So it'll certainly be interesting to see what Max ends up doing for sure. But overall, I'm a big fan of his. And I'm glad that he's finally added to the roster. I was getting a little concerned. You just never know what these kids are going to do. But Max fits the profile. As you can see here, he's got pretty good speed. He's definitely capable of running this offense, and his arm is extremely
three receivers,
extremely strong.
Far side, one to the near side.
I mean, it's even possible he may have the strongest arm on the roster, or one of the strongest arms on the roster already. All these are running plays, which is fine, but Max is definitely an interesting kid. So I'm trying to find a pass play here. Here's one. Really nice motion on that too. Turn that off a little bit, but you see the motion on him. Love his motion. It's just a pretty motion. Now it's a little bit big. By big, I mean, see how far he's got to take it back. They may tighten. I don't know if they'll tighten it up or not. Who knows? With Rich Rod, I don't know how much they care about windups and quarterbacks. Like, I don't think it's Byron Leftwich by any means. For those of you who don't know, Byron Leftwich, one of the main reasons he didn't make it in the NFL is because I'll probably do it from this side. He had a windup that went like this, that allowed really good DBs to break on the ball before. It gives them an extra 0.2 of a second, right? That allows you to break on a ball. All right, Omoni Weaver, which is another player I really like. He's out of Spartansburg, South Carolina, 5'9", 161 pounds. Really good quickness on the off the line. He has the ability to stretch it. Although his 40 time was around the 4.6 I saw the other day, I still think he's a deep threat candidate for the Mountaineers. He's also got really good agility. I think he'll shine in the slot moving forward, creating mismatches against bigger defenders. Just keep an eye on him as his career goes along for explosive plays. Camden Pitchford is another one that's quicker than he is fast. 5'9", 163, Columbus, Texas. Brings really great elusiveness to the receiving corps. He's a compact kid. He's got some quick feet. I think he'll be a tough cover on the underneath stuff. And he's got a knack for finding soft spots in zones. Not a fast guy. We saw the other day he ran like a 4.8 or whatever it was. I have a feeling he runs better than that, though. You can't judge a guy off of 140. Let's see what he looks like, next year, and we'll get a better definition of how fast he is. But there are tight ends all the time. You see run 4.8 under those. They as long as you can run routes and be quick, you can still get open. You're just not going to be a deep ball guy. Tyshawn Dews is another kid out of Charleston, 5'10", 171. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. I've talked about this a couple different times, but he's an in-state talent. His brother heavily recruited. And he's got sure hands. He's got deceptive speed. I think he's got the versatility to line up outside or in the slot. Definitely gives us flexibility. And I think he'll make an impact in the red zone. The red zone was his precise route running that he's really good with in the future. Philip Bowser out of Youngstown, Ohio, 6'4", 273, number 62. He's a mauler in the trenches, as we like to say. Strength and size, I think, is going to make him a pretty key piece for West Virginia's run-heavy scheme. He has the ability to anchor against bull rushes. It'll also be crucial in protecting the quarterback and opening lanes for the ground game. But he's absolutely a kid that I like out of this class. One of the only ones on this list that's not a high school player is Michael Clay, number 79, 6'5", 278. He's a transfer. He's from Cincinnati. He's a road grader coming out of North Alabama. He's got really long arms and a strong base. And, we haven't watched his stuff in a while. I think it's worth doing here. Let me get over to his page really quick because I haven't broken down Michael Clay in probably about a month since he committed or so, or however long it's been, maybe 2 months even. But I like him. He's definitely an interesting and intriguing prospect from a size comparison perspective, from uh, an overall just watch the tape. I think he's just really, you can just tell he's a really strong guy. Certainly a guy that I would say is going to be in the mix for a starting job. I think that he's going to have a chance to do so. Absolutely. Don't know if he'll actually get there or not, but as you see, he's got this YouTube page. I've gotten his permission before to play this, but this is Michael Clay, 6'5". It says 298 right here out of Cincinnati, where he was a team captain for North Alabama. And he does a lot of things pretty good. He's got decent agility on his kick step and getting out of his stance. But another thing he does well, man, his upper body is extremely, and I highlight extremely strong. Here he is coming out of his stance. As you can see, he gets out there pretty well. And then with the other upper body strength, this guy really has no shot, right? Puts him right on his butt. With that upper body strength, you like to see that. Here he is from another angle. Same kind of play. This guy tries to bull rush him, and you see him anchor in. You see him anchor in from the defensive end. He tries to go up underneath him. He just bull rushes him and takes him straight down with that upper body strength yet again. Same number, same deal. Right tackle on the edge against a smaller player, and he's out on the edge. And you see the athletic ability here. He's able to get out on the edge and do a couple things as he pulls around, and he gets not one but two players pancaked. So that's impressive. Here he is again, one-on-one against a smaller guy. You see the kid try to rip underneath. We talk about rips on the show every day just about now. Watch this kid try to rip under. Didn't work. So Michael Clay's another guy, I think, and that's a nice job on the spin move there. There he goes with that upper body strength again. So as you can see, there's a few things he does well. He gets out of his stance pretty well. He anchors in pretty good. So Clay is a kid that I think it was vital we got him in. Glad we did. He's definitely worth keeping track of. Taylor Brown, we highlighted on the show last night from Upper Maryland. I think he is a Dante Steele-esque type player. Not saying he's going to be Dante Steele by any means, but he is a quick, elusive kind of defensive tackle that can pass rush. He also does clogs lanes pretty well. We saw him take up double teams, really clog the lanes up. So he's another one that I really find super intriguing. Obviously, Keenan Eck is another junior college transfer. So junior college guys are treated a lot like high school players. So, excuse me, I can't stop myself from yawning there. But he's from California, but he's got a big guy, 6'4", 205 pounds from Apple Valley, California. He's got a really high motor, very good, just great length. You can see that's one of his most intriguing things. Basically a speed rusher around the edge. He doesn't do a whole lot else. My favorite player in the entire class, Cam Torber, a 6'3", 242-pound linebacker from Hoover, Alabama. He's a tone setter, sideline to sideline speed. A kid that I think is going to push for playing time this year. I'm glad he made it, man. I'd have been sick over this one. Got really, really great instincts and run defense. He's also got the ability to shed blockers. He climbs to, I think he's going to have a chance to climb the depth chart. So we'll see. Carmarius Bomar, obviously out of South Carolina. He's a corner, 5'10", 177. He has all the tools, man. I think he's another one that we're lucky to have, and glad he's here. He's got quick feet, physicality, impressed man. He disrupts timings on routes pretty well. His ball skills are and knack for reading quarterbacks' eyes, in my opinion, what make him a really good playmaker. Dwayne Galloway out of Columbus, 6 feet 175. He's got some versatility. He can play corner or safety. He's got some range. I think he can tackle pretty well. I think he'll be a valuable asset in our schemes because Zach Alley likes to have guys that can do multiple things. So let's see what he does in the future for us. And then Aiden Sire, a punter out of Morgantown, seems like just a hot spot for punters these days. 6 feet, 185. He's got a nice leg. I went and looked at some tape. Oh, gosh, these new medications are wearing on me here, I guess. I did take one of them, and it's making me yawn. Sorry. I would never yawn on camera if I didn't have to. But, yeah, he's got a really nice leg. I think he's a kid that you look at as somebody that's going to be able to flip the field, that kind of thing. So, hopefully he can turn into a reliable weapon and maybe learn something from Ollie Straw, who is one of the best in the country. And that's it. I think it's a combination of in-state talent, JUCO guys, like, you look at Michael Clay, obviously Keenan Eck. I think that there's a lot of potential and these guys are the future of the program. So let's definitely make sure we give them a ton of grace, but also keep looking at them, man, because instant depth. That's right. Let's go to break. And what we're going to talk about next, guys. The Glossy Helmets have returned. And what a big deal it is. Wren Baker listens to us again and delivers to the fans. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by FanDuel. When it comes to FanDuel, guys, they're doing it big this summer because sports are in full swing. And whether you're about baseball, under the lights, golf on the green, you like soccer, FanDuel is the best way to make every game more exciting. You're already following the action, so why not make it a little more thrilling? With FanDuel, you can get it on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach, or like I said yesterday, my family is at the beach getting sunburned right now. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups and keeps the app fresh with new daily promotions and some fun ways to bet. If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can just bet $5. That's it. You put $5 in, you get $150 in bonus bets. That's if you win. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. It's a fun app. In segment 2, I need some Gatorade. No do. Gatorade. All right. What's that movie? What movie is that from? Gatorade. It's like a Adam Sandler type movie where the monkey's like, Gatorade. I don't know. Anyway. Not Waterboy either. Water sucks. It really, really sucks. Well, water sucks. The best helmet in the history of our program is back. That's right. I said it. The best helmet in the history of the program is back. I wasn't one of the ones that advocated for this a ton, just because I didn't think, and this is just me, my silly brain, being wrong here, but I didn't think this was actually going to happen. If you want to keep me honest here, like I thought, it just generally speaking, I don't know. I just thought, as fans, like we can definitely ask for things, but I don't feel like we ever really get them. Wren Baker's changed that narrative in West Virginia, Morgantown. He absolutely has. Let's share screen as it's been 4,556 days on the shelf with the Glossy Blues. And what a beautiful helmet it is in the sun, especially. But here is the video. Let's find the video. There's a picture of Rasheed Marshall doing it. What was that girl doing on that video just now? That was weird. All right, let's West Virginia football. All right. It looked like she was possibly using her underwear as I didn't mean to scroll by that. It was just, what the heck was I just seeing there? All right. You never know what you're going to see on here if you don't scroll fast enough. Here we go. Here's the video of the Glossy Blue helmet release.
Coach, hold on.
What's up,
Got something
Dan?
here for you to take a look at.
Hi, Danny. It's not bad.
Matted blue. All right. You got anything else back there?
See, you might have something back here.
I like it. Thing looks real familiar.
Yeah, shit, that boy remind me of
The
good old
GOAT.
days.
Let's go. The old gold.
For those of you listening on podcast, this is a video on social media on West Virginia's X channel of Noelle Devine,
Thing looks
Rasheed
real
Marshall, and Pat White
Yeah,
passing around the
that boy
glossy
remind
blue
me of the
helmet
good old days.
in a skit. Basically, this is a skit that they've
familiar.
done.
Let's go.
Gosh,
The
Noelle
old
Devine
gold
looks
and
like
blue.
he looks exactly the same as the
Check it
equipment
out.
managers bring out the glossy blue
Love
helmet,
it.
and it looks
It's back.
it's
The
been
glossy
upgraded.
blue. Boy, that damn just.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't let you guys hear Rich Rod.
It's back. The glossy blue. Boy, that damn just tell.
Look at Rich Rod, man. This thing just came out of the box, didn't it? And he ironed it. Of course, he ironed it.
That's a sharp looking hat right there. I think the guys will love it. They'll
No,
love
he
it.
probably didn't. No, Rich Rod did. He ain't gonna have somebody do it for him. Boom, there it is. That's the shot. That's what's on the thumbnail. So the glossy blue helmet's back. Couple changes to it, I think. The gold tinges here. I don't know if those were there before. I thought they were blue before with gold, but I don't know. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I would like to see some face mask variants on this, maybe. I don't know if gold face mask would look good. I don't know. I'm not saying it would or wouldn't, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. But overall, here's what I did. I went and dove deep and kind of looked into the history of the glossy blue helmet and just how much greatness is associated with it. And for those of you who don't know, this is Don Nehlen's baby. And that's why there's a lot of love for this helmet, especially amongst folks that, to be quite honest, watch the show's age, because a lot of my viewers are 50 and older. So over 50% of my viewers are 50 and older. This helmet it represents a lot. Obviously in 1980, I think Don Nehlen came in and wanted a new identity for the program. And all the other thing I've heard in interviews was he had trouble distinguishing West Virginia from other teams on film back in those days, because obviously the film wasn't as good as it is now, right? We're talking about grainy footage, and it's really tough to try to see, right? So they went ahead and changed it from the throwbacks we just got back, I believe is what part of a similar concept, not exactly the same. So it was like a bronze kind of look, bronze helmet, really dated look in the 70s. And then the iconic dark blue with the glossy finish and the flying WV, which was a sports artist named John Martin, has now, I mean, goodness gracious, what a great logo, right? So that debuted against Cincinnati on September 6, 1980. West Virginia won that game 41-27. And that's where John Denver performed Take Me Home Country Roads. So think about how much history there is in that one first game. Don Nehlen, you've got Don Nehlen coaching in his first game, right? Or one of his first games. You've got a win against Cincinnati, which is kind of a rival now. You've got John Denver singing Country Roads at the stadium. Like, there's so much tied into these. It's a cultural moment. It really cemented the glossy helmet and the flying WV as symbols of a new era. And Don Nehlen later on went to say that that flying WV was the link between the football team and our fan base. And I totally agree. By 83, everybody knew who the flying WV was. It was our official logo. And the glossy helmet became a staple for 3 decades until Dana Holgerson, I think, came along and screwed that up, right? But it's not just an aesthetic, it's practical too, because The shine made the helmets pop on TV and stadiums. It enhanced our brand recognition. Sports Illustrated even ranked it 6th among college football best helmets in the 80s. It's a pretty bold design for that day. For fans, the glossy blue became synonymous with our old tradition of old gold and blue, right? The glossy helmets were on the heads of mountaineers during some of the most storied times and achievements in our history. Think about from 1980 to 2012. The glossy finish was a near constant presence. Minor variations with the color, whether it was blue, gold, or white, I believe, decals on it. But here are the highlights, basically. From 1980 to 2000, obviously we know Don Nehlen era. We know how great it was. We were undefeated in 1988. We were 11-0 before he lost to Notre Dame after Major got injured in the Fiesta Bowl for the national championship. We went undefeated 5 years later in 93 in another 11-0 game with the Sugar Bowl, the Florida loss. Glossy blue helmets were there for the whole ride. The flying WV was etched further into West Virginia lore. The exact win totals for the glossy helmets are unavailable. I wasn't able to find them. But Neyland was 149, 93, and 4. And that was pretty much all glossy helmet. Then you look at Rich Rodriguez, who's not going to change his coaches. I mean, that's not only was this his coach, it was his predecessor from 01 to 07, where we had our golden era again. I mean, you could say that Rich even one-upped Neyland in some respects because we became more national. 3 consecutive Big East titles, BCS Bowl wins, 05 Sugar, 07 Fiesta, Pat White, Steve Slayton, Owen Schmidt, Darius Raynaud, Jock Sanders, Noel Devine, go on and on and on and on and on. Pac-Man Jones, Chris Henry, Chris Neild. We can go on and on. Pat McAfee. And I think these glossy helmets, they've been along for the ride the whole way. In 2010, West Virginia debuted the glossy coal-themed Pro Combat helmets for a 35-10 rout of Pitt. I do remember that. It's been a fan favorite design. It was only a one-off use, though, and maybe that's the next helmet we need to ask for. I don't know. In 2011, the glossy helmets were part of a huge win and won our last big win as a program. 70-33 thrashing of Clemson in the Orange Bowl, and one of our most dominant performances ever. They also have appeared in some iconic upsets. If you look at the 2018 road win over Texas, 42-21. Will Greer had a last-second touchdown, 2-point conversion. We know that. That was a great moment. In 2013, West Virginia switched to matte finished helmets. It's a move that sparks some debate among fans. I think, we've cycled through various variations over the course of the last, I want to say, 12 to 13 years. One thing's for certain. We ain't as good now as we were before. And so the glossy helmets are more than just a helmet. They're a source of pride. They're a part of our state. They're a part of our culture, really. And I think a big segment of the fan base thinks that we can do it again. And I'm in agreement of that. Rich Rodriguez's return, the glossy helmets are fitting. The matte doesn't fit Rich Rodriguez anyway, in my opinion. And I'm glad it happened. I don't think he cares about helmets that much, but overall, I think they're back, right? And actually, at the end of the day, They're iconic, and there's no reason to believe that we can't get back to we can't. There's no reason to think we can't get back to what this represents right here. So this right here reminds me of Owen Smith breaking a face mask. That's the kind of smash mouth that it reminds me of. Hope you guys how I wrote that out earlier today when I was preparing the show. Bullet points. Hope you enjoyed that. Try to do a little research, and I mean, a lot of it's memory, anyways. I mean, if you're a Mountaineer fan, you don't know about 88 or 93 or any of the other wins. It's I don't know. You're casual, but at the end of the day, I'm glad these helmets are back. I love what they represent, but we still have to go do it. At the end, that's just it. We got to go do it. And the thing is, what BYU did last year, what Arizona State did last year, can be us. And we're running out of time to do it, to make an impression on. And I say this a lot before we go to break here. Not only playing for wins and losses, I truly believe the teams that are positioned best whenever college football makes its whatever next iteration it is, the teams that are positioned best will be chosen. And just like last time in the Big East, right? We may not got what we wanted in the ACC, sure. Had we not been the West Virginia that we had been leading up to that, do you think the Big 12 would have wanted us? No. Similarly, we want to be in that kind of position again. And hopefully 3, 4, 5 years down the road, we will be. We'll go to break. On the other side, we'll talk about the guys that are going to media days. Some interesting names they're bringing to media days, and none of them are quarterbacks. All right, guys, we are back here in Locked On West Virginia, segment 3. Big 12 media days coming up. I think this is one of those things where you take. Let's talk about who went first, and then we'll get into it. July 9th, I was approved to go, as a lot of y'all know, and then I don't know if I talked about it publicly yet. Maybe I shouldn't. You know what? I'm not going to get into it. It's not worth it. But, I appreciate all the support. Everybody was happy for me when I got credentialed and everything. I'm really glad. And I'll broach the subject further, maybe in Frisco or something like that. Anyway, July 9th, Real Coach Rodriguez, Jaden Bray, Landon Livingston, and Eddie V are all going. I can't believe I'm not following Eddie V. What the heck? Let me make sure I'm following all these guys. That's weird. How am I not following Eddie Vesterinen? Weird, man. That makes me mad at myself. Anyway, sometimes you can't get everybody, I guess. So these names are, when I look at these names, I think of a couple different things. Stability, Eddie V and stability. Lenny Livingston, I think, is the future, right? At the center spot, possibly. A kid that has earned his spot in Frisco, apparently. And then Jaden Bray, who we heard really great things about during the spring. What they all have in common, minus Rich Rod there, is they were here last year. None of these guys are transfers in this year. And these two have always been here. So Jaden Bray has obviously made a pretty good impression. Of course, with Rich Rod and company, he was here when they got here. They don't know him as the Oklahoma State version of Jaden Bray. So no quarterbacks on the list. Thought that was interesting. I think there's a couple reasons for it. Number one, you protect your quarterbacks from questions about the competition. Maybe you either got to bring one or you bring them both, right? I think if you don't bring one or the other, people will jump to conclusions about who your starter was going to be. Now, if I'm Rich Rodriguez and I know who my starter is going to be, I probably would bring the opposite guy. That's how I would have worked. So people will jump to conclusions and think, Nico Markel is going to be the starter. I'm going to go ahead and bring, Jalen Henderson, something like that, and tell Nico off to the side, like, hey, you're my guy. I'm going to bring him with. That way we throw people off the scent. If you think it's that big of a deal. I don't know that somebody knowing who your starting quarterback is, that huge of a deal in the first couple games. But at the end of the day, guys, I think that's where we're at here. So these are all program guys I think that you can be counted on, guys that have earned it, especially Eddie V, of all these guys. So kind of gives you a tip on who they're feeling good about, I think. That's how I view it. I mean, sure, can you just say that they're seniors? Sure, you could say that, or I don't even know if they're all seniors. They're not all seniors, but they're all veterans in the program now at this point. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. I think it definitely puts a little stamp on who they are feeling as leaders so far. So, all right, guys, that's all I got. Appreciate you for joining in for this one. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe if you're new around here. Remember, we're almost to 5,000. Where are we at, by the way? What's up, John? Where are we at right now? Let's have a good old look-see, because we're giving away money here. I mean, it's a pretty big deal, right? I mean, you guys like money, don't you? I'll give it away right now. So we're at 4,911. That means we need 89 more people to subscribe. So I can track, who subscribed all the way back to however long you want to look. Okay. I'm trying to think. I could probably show you guys, but I mean, it really doesn't matter. If it comes down to it, we can. But basically, the last 150 people, right, are going to get paid $50. We'll do it live on the stream. I'll send it right to you while we're live. We'll spin a wheel randomly, and whoever wins gets the money. We'll send it live on stream. But yeah, so gotta subscribe. I'm gonna be one of the last 150 to do it. If you're not subscribed, or if you're already subscribed, I have a solution for that too. We're going to be giving away $20 to a already subscribed person, just because, a lot of you guys have been subscribed to me for years. So I want to reward you guys for that. So as soon as we hit 5,000, we'll do both giveaways. Make sure you like the video, and you just have to be subscribed to get either one, or if some crazy scenario happens, you get both. You might as well play the lottery too that day, because that's like a 1 in 5,000 shot times 2, right? So, well, it's a 1 in 150 for the first one. But for you to get both, it would be much larger odds than just one in either, right? For you to get 1 in 150 is 1 in 150. For you to get 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 5,000. For you to get the 1 in 150 and the 1 in 5,000 would be like pretty long odds, I would say. Don't know exactly what odds, but it would be long ones. Maybe somebody else that's smarter than me knows the answer to that. All right, guys. Like the video, please. Share this video out if you get a chance to. Subscribe if you're new around here, and we'll talk on the next one. Glossy Helmets are back. 12 new players have been added. These kids right here, Jaden Bray, Eddie Vestorinen, Lanning Livingston, are all going to Frisco, Texas for media days. So there's things going on. There's stuff and things happening. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen. Being a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, we talk about your team every single day, the Mountaineers. You're an everydayers around here. You guys are here every day, and I can't thank you enough for it. Continue to be here for me, guys, as I go through a struggle right now. mental health is tough. So I say to you, if you're struggling with your mental health or your health in general, it's easy to say for me now and on the other end of it, but please don't wait till your arm's chopped off to go to the hospital, or please don't wait till you're having ideations or whatever, panic attacks or whatever to get help. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Make sure to hit me up on X or anything if you need me for anything. I'm very approachable and we'll talk to you. Definitely not a kind of person that feels like I'm better than anybody by any means. We'll see you then. Make sure you check out Locked On Portal as well, guys. Brian does a great job over there. He's elite at it. Really, he breaks down recruiting and does an excellent job at it. Make sure you check him out on Locked On Portal over on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm out of here, guys. Have a great one.